What you're watching, don't miss a moment of it. On demand, anytime, anywhere. Download our free Now Media TV app on Roku or iOS and enjoy instant access to our full lineup of programming. You can always, as well, check out nowmedia.tv, click on shows, and pull down Power CEOs for previous episodes. So before the break, we were talking about writing a book, and publishing used to be the end of the road for writers, for example. Now it's the beginning of a brand ecosystem. We're going to dive deeper into G.A. Giddings, how he is using AI to repurpose his novel for podcast content, for social media, and deeper storytelling experiences, because it's not a one and done novel. He's developing an entire series. We're going to talk about how entrepreneurs can do the same with your content. So G.A., welcome back.
Thank you.
And I'm going to ask, how do you think about a novel or any content as kind of the seed of a whole brand or media ecosystem?
I think it builds kind of slowly over time, but now, like, it's published. There's a website now. There's Facebook posts and Instagram, and now podcasts are being developed. So it's like once you have this mountain of material, it's like, how do I take what I have and repurpose it? So we look at it and say, I don't know, we need to get a teaser for this. How do we get people interested in that? Well, let's have a hook. Well, let's focus on doing that. We do go down that road. And then it's, we want a podcast. What would be really interesting for this podcast? Well, I don't know. Let's do a soundscape, and then let's talk about like the person in the first scene or whatever, and let's lead that in, build up that momentum into that first scene. But we're not going to say what actually happens in the first scene. So I think it's just being creative on reframing the existing material and seeing what comes out of it.
And so talk to me about how you're leveraging AI in this process. So let's use just the podcast, for example.
Sure.
You have the book, you leveraged AI to write and edit the book alongside of you,
Yep.
And now you're building it into podcasts. How did you leverage AI in order to help you with that?
Honestly, I was like, I don't know how to do this. So it was like, hey, we have this scene. How would you put this into a podcast? Can you go find others who have done this, who are successful at doing this, and give me some examples? And it said, oh yeah, I can do that. And it like came back with this list of things. And then we'd sit down and read it and say, I'm not sure about that or whatever. And then we just went and did it. Like, you go into the other room and it's like, let's practice this. And then you just kind of roll with it, really.
And so how did you come up with the content, for example? How did that go?
So the branding's key. So you need something to anchor it. Like when you're writing a novel or whatever, I need to anchor the character or whatever. So it had to be like festivals and trials content. So like it would come up with, oh, let's do X, Y, Z. And then you go, well, no, it can't just be X, Y, Z, because I need it to tie back to this universe that I've created in this novel, this festivals and trials universe. So how do I do that? And it goes, oh, why didn't you say that from the beginning? And then you and it comes back and it gives you like the how to rephrase the words, I guess, in a way that it's to your brand. So I don't know, how would you do that in business, I would say?
Yeah, so this the way I would look at it is I would go and I'd say, okay, look, this is what I do for a living. I am a business coach and strategist. These are the products and services that I have. Please research my website, research all of my social media. Here's all my links. Here's my signature or my secret sauce, if you will. Please craft for me some compelling questions that can be asked to me by the podcast host so that I can be led into the content that the viewers are going to want to listen to. And so I would look at it from that perspective. I don't type very often into ChatGPT because I talk very fast. If you've been watching, I talk very, very fast. I can talk faster than I can type. And so I just hit that little button and I'm like, hey, I'm going to be speaking for X audience. This is what they care about. What are the synergies with what they care about and what my expertise is? Give me all of the possible points that would be really important to them. Then I go and I say, okay, great, ChatGPT, do some market research for me. What are the things that people are actually buying? Like, what are their pain points they're actually buying? What are the gaps in the marketplace? So it's market research. And then I craft the questions for the podcast or the content for the social media post based off of that feedback. It's doing your market research for you. It's doing this. So it looks like what's going to be the most effective? What are people looking at now? So let me ask you, GA, what's the evolution you've seen in the AI writing tools? over the past 2 years.
Yeah, so I signed up for GPT right when it came out. It was under that premise. It was like, hey, did you hear ChatGPT can write a whole novel? I was like, no, it can't. Let me show. I'll just show you. There's no way. And so I started writing, like putting in prompts and stuff, and it just kind of ideated and stuff like that. And I did notice like a vast improvement from like where it was in 23. Now it's 24 and 25. It is a super tool. Like, but it evolved. I had to learn how to use it. Like I had to spend the time to learn the prompt engineering or whatever, and build the content. Because once I had all that and I kind of had my own flow of how to use it, I could very surgically go in. I need this very exact thing, and kind of get what I was after.
So it wasn't all in AI. You used other tools as well.
Yeah. So like, I mean, for writing specifically, so like I use Scrivener because that helps me organize my notes really well. So it'd probably work really great for a business book as well. But you can have like your chapters kind of laid out and break it down granularly. So like for the sci-fi novel, it was scenes. So I have scenes in a chapter, and it just helped to really organize thoughts better that way. And then I would also use, like iPhone and notes, like a talking to the phone and say blah 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 this idea. And I don't like when I'm like out and about or whatever, and I'm walking in the job site or whatever. And so like I just like blah 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 this, and then like later on I could take that and put that into GPT and say, can you make sense of what I said? And it'll translate, what I spoke into it, and just help the organization. So it's like I'm constantly so before it was like I can ideate only at this moment in time because I'm working a 17-hour day. I got to get this thing out. But now it's different. Now it's like everything is happening in real time. So it's like I get that quality, the quality of life back.
And so for people who are watching, some of the entrepreneurs who are watching have been watching the show, and they may not have taken action and may still be on the fence about using AI. Are they now too far behind to catch up?
No, you're never too far behind. So like, but is like you have to. So for me, just be curious. Like it's hard if you're like, especially like for a creative person, you're like, it's taking this thing away from me. It's supposed to be me. Just try it. Like go in there and just experiment with it. And think of it like it's not taking the whole thing of what you do away. It's taking the things you don't want to do away, so you have more time to do the 1% that really matters. Like for me, it's the creative part. I don't want to spend time like checking commas and like all this stuff. Like I want something else to do that for me, so I can focus on the character development or whatever in this analogy.
Okay, so how do you personally stay creative while using AI tools to boost efficiency?
So sometimes it's like doing the brand, like the actual festivals and trials stuff. But sometimes, it is science fiction. So I'll just go into like, hey, what's going on in the world, like latest research or something. Give me some stories of what have happened. Or maybe it's just like listening to music. So I think it's like taking other media and consuming it, and that will like, oh wait, this thing that I saw in this show, or like, oh wait, that thing that I heard in that song kind of generates an idea or something. And now I'm like, well, what do I do with this? Let me go find a pen and a notepad. Nope, blah 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 blah. Think about this later, and then I put it away. And then it's like I'm capturing it in the moment, which is really cool.
And so a lot of entrepreneurs, we find we have a lot, especially for in the beginning.
Yep.
We may be small businesses, we may be wearing a lot of hats, and we find it overwhelming to then also have to create our marketing copy and our sales copy and some of those things. How can they leverage some of this so that they can get that done much more efficiently and effectively?
Well, there's a lot of tools out there. I mean, now in the most recent iterations, you can create these quick videos or whatever. I think ChatGPT, it's Sora, and you can do this in Meta AI, and it'll give you like different versions, like 4 different versions you can choose from, and then animate it to get your, stop the scroll kind of thing you're after to get people's attention in marketing or whatever. So you just kind of have to go see what's out there and play with it. And there's stuff to create for writing. There's stuff for music or sound. There's stuff for video, and it's not all in one place. That's a little complicated. But then you could use ChatGPT and say, I don't know how to figure all this stuff out. Will you please give me a list of everything so I can go quickly go figure all this stuff out. So it's just reframing how you operate.
I really appreciate that. So how can people reach out to you if they're looking to learn more? Maybe they're an entrepreneur and they want to leverage some of the tools that you have, or they want to pick up your book. How can they reach out to you?
Sure. Go to festivalsandtrials.com and find me on social media.
Fantastic. That was festivalsandtrials.com. So, folks, here's the time where we're getting kind of towards the moment where we need to take a break, but this is all about action. So think about some of the things that GA said. Draft your ideas, literally voice text them into ChatGPT or whatever system you're using. Dictate those rough thoughts. Don't leave anything out because the context is important. And use AI to organize it, refine it, repurpose it. Use AI to write your business book or turn your framework into a webinar, a podcast, or a mini course to serve wider audiences. Don't just think book. Think this is an IP asset. AI helps you stretch your content across platforms and audiences. So if you've been watching, make sure you reach out. Feel free to reach out to GA. Otherwise, today is the day to start really doing this. If you've been watching the show for a while, we've been talking about AI for years now. It's here, it's time, and it's time to take action. So GA, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us a real look at what's possible when creativity meets technology. You've helped us peel back the curtain in not only the power of AI and storyteller, but how authors and entrepreneurs can use it as a partner rather than a replacement. For our viewers at home, if you've ever said, I want to write a book, but I don't know where to start, today's episode gave you the roadmap. AI can help you get the words flowing, but it's your voice, your message that's still at the heart of the work. We'll be right back. We do have to take a brief break after these important messages.